Okay, so welcome back. And now what we're going to discuss is the area formulas for different shapes and also the perimeter formulas. Okay, so let's start with rectangles. Okay, so the area of a rectangle, again, the way we look at area in general is how many square units of surface do we have, or how many square units of surface can we have in a surface. Okay, so in other words, if we have, like, for example, rectangle is a good one to visualize this, because if we have a rectangle and we have one that's 3 inches by 5 inches, then we can cut this up into square units. So we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units this way. Again, pretend these are nice even bars. And then we can divide it into 3 equal squares going down, and then we end up with square units. And so how many square units makes up this rectangle? Well, it's going to be 15. If we just count the squares, we get 15. Or we multiply 5 times 3, because we have what? 5 groups of 3 squares. And so 5 times 3 is 15, so we get 15 square inches, or 15 inches squared. Okay, and so that gives us our formula for rectangle, which is just length times width. Okay, and then likewise with a square. Now remember, a square is a rectangle. It's just that the lengths of the sides are all the same. So if you take length times width and apply it to a square, which is another rectangle, then you get the side, the measure of the side squared, because when you have a square, all the sides are the same. So one side is S. So if you do length times width, you get S times S, which is S squared. So that gives you the formula for a square. Parallelogram. A parallelogram, again, is a quadrilateral that has two sets of parallel sides. Okay? So again, what happens? Well, you know this angle is going to be equal to this angle, right? And this angle is equal to that angle. Okay, so if we draw a line from this angle straight down and make a right triangle, right? We can slide this over to this side. And what do we end up getting? We end up getting a rectangle with a base equal to B, right? And the height, which is equal to H. And so we get base times height, which again is the same formula for a rectangle. So the formula for the area of a parallelogram is the same as that of a rectangle. Base times height in this case, because we're looking for the base, right? The base times the height of the parallelogram. Okay? And again, rectangles are parallelograms. So base times height is the same as length times width for a rectangle, which is the same as S squared for a square. Now a trapezoid is a little different, because a trapezoid only has one set of parallel sides. It's not a parallelogram. So it's not going to have the same formula as rectangle, parallelogram, and square, because all three, rectangle and square, are both parallelograms. So the formula for those three are essentially going to be the same. Okay? But a trapezoid, the formula for the area of a trapezoid is you take 1/2 times the height times the sum of the bases, right, of the parallel lines, okay, B1 and B2, okay? Or you can also think of it as the average of the bases times height, okay? So those are the formulas for the different shapes that we're going to be dealing with: rectangle, square, parallelogram, trapezoid. Now the perimeter, though, is this pretty much the same. Remember, it's all of the sides of the shape added together. Now the formula for different types or different classifications of quadrilaterals will have different formulas. Okay, so for example, rectangle. A rectangle is going to have the formula 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, because in a rectangle these two sides are the same, so you double those, and these two sides are the same, so you double one of those sides, so you get this formula. Okay. Square, well, since all the sides are the same, it's just s plus s plus s plus s, which is just 4 times s. And then for a parallelogram, it's just 2 times one side. Again, looking at a rectangle, which is also a parallelogram, you can see a similarity in both of them, except that a parallelogram, you just have sides A and B and B, okay? Where B is the bases and A is the adjacent sides. Okay, so you get, again, 2 times the length of one side plus 2 times the length of the other side. Okay, and that's it. So those are the formulas. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a bunch of examples of applying these formulas, and then that's it. Okay, have a great day.